Good day, everybody. How are you all doing on this Sunday? Last Sunday in February. Can't believe the winter's almost over. So hello to everybody down in chat. Kevin, Nick, Tanish, Brian, and Rachel the Troll. So we're here in Delhi, of course just outside New Delhi. This was the last stop on our flight today, or our itinerary when we flew in from Karachi. Today we're leaving Delhi. On the itinerary we've had an hour-long stop. Some passengers have left, some have got on, we've refueled, and we are heading south down to Calcutta on today's flight. So let's hop on board. We could start getting the passengers lined up. I just have to do one final thing here. So I was typing away on something else and forgot to do this. So I'm just going to quickly set it up. Just let you listen to the wonderful sounds of the airport here while I get this up and running. There we go. Alright, so let's hop on board the aircraft and we can get the passengers on board. There we are. Alright, so the passengers are getting on board. 29 actually. It's closer, and I know the charts show some weird irregularities with the taxiways, but I took a look and everything's there. So we're going to go off 29, make a left-hand turn out when we go out. Let's just take a look outside. I want to see what that noise is, what we got around us here. We got an A320 moving over there. And as you can see, we got that haze again. Alright, so while everyone's getting on board, we'll get our weights all set up. Fuel for today is, where's my flight plan? 11,127 on the fuel. So we'll dial that down to 11,127. $11,126 is good. And our takeoff weight of 81,785. So we have 33 passengers today. And we'll add in the rest of the weight to get it up to 81,785. 81,789. There we go. So there's our fuel, and passengers are now set. And everyone else is getting on board. So we got a couple Airbuses around us. So let's take a look at the route as we get ourselves ready to go. So here we are. We're currently at the South Apron here at Terminal 3 where we had parked last time. Just taking a quick look at the weather. Yeah, winds are 300 at 10 knots. So what we're going to do, I know this is dash lines, but it is there in the sim. So we're going to taxi out, we're going to come down, and then we're going to cross over here at Yankee 5. And we'll be taking off on runway 29er. From there, we're going to make a left turn down towards Agra. And then we're going to fly basically at a southeast, straightish line. Towards the end, we're going to curve down, and we're coming down towards the Bangladesh border to Calcutta. We're going to be using the ILS for runway 19er left. So the ILS frequency for that is 110.3, and it's 187 degrees. And basically, we're going to fly directly to the Calcutta VOR, CEA, and then we'll fly out, we'll do the teardrop, come around and land. Upon landing, we're going to come down, we'll probably get off at Bravo. We'll exit Bravo, we'll taxi down Alpha. We're going to work our way down, and we're going to park down here in front of, on apron 2, in front of the domestic terminal. Spots 22, 23, 24, 25. So we'll be going in there. And that is the plan. It's about a 3-hour flight time. And I have some new entertainment lined up for today's flight. Managed to source some new movies and stuff, so we will be using those. We have a scheduled departure time of 16:40 local, and as you can see, it's just past 1600 hours now. So we're on schedule to get ourselves all set up. Just waiting for everyone to get on board, and then we can start the pre-flight. So we got Nick over here. He's flying in the Pan Am colors, and we can see Kevin's airplane right there. He is in the Mighty Mackerel colors. So there's 3 of us flying today. Let me just grab the current weather, and I'll throw that into the chat. There we go.
We're ready to go when you are.
So there's the current weather. Winds are 300 at 10 knots, 5,000 meters visibility with haze, which we can see out the front window. A few cloud at 10,000 feet, 24 degrees, nice and warm. 1017 on the QNH, so we'll set that there. There we go. So that is set on both sides, and no significant changes to the forecast predicted. So everybody is on board. So we'll get them to pull the stairs, close the cabin exit, get the cargo holds closed. We'll get the stairs for the cockpit pulled up. Wheel chocks are removed. As soon as those are closed and up, there we go. We'll get that cabin door closed. There's Kevin's aircraft there. And Roger and Fred are now seated, and we can begin. So, for start checklist.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flight 110. Our flight time will be roughly 2 hours and 58 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat backs must be in the full upright and locked position for departure.
So while they're doing that, let's just turn on some of this stuff. We get our first set of frequencies plugged in. So the Agra VOR is 112. So we'll set 112 up. Piper 98 over on Twitch. Hello. In the cockpit, it is part of the aircraft. It is, they call it the automatic flight engineer or assistant flight engineer. It's part of the process. The female voice doing the cabin announcements is part of PAX, which is my cabin attendant stuff. They do announcements such as mealtime and the safety announcements and stuff like that.
Closed. Door warning lights.
So the checklist voices that you hear right now are part of the aircraft going. So 112 is the frequency for the Agra VOR. We'll put that in. The next VOR we're going to want is the Kilo Charlie Hotel 115.3. So we'll get that one set up. 115.3. We're going to make that our primary on our nav 2. And then we're going to put the next one in as well, which is the BBN, Bravo Bravo November 113.9. Alright, so our radios are set up. We have no NDBs we have to worry about for today. Yeah, there's nothing at the destination, so we're good there. Alright, so we are good to start engines. We have engine 3 mixture is on auto rich. Mags are set to both. Engine mode selector is in number 3. Boost pumps are set on low and cranking engine 3.
3, 6, 9, 12.
There we go. We have a good start on engine 3. She's starting to warm up. We'll see the manifold pressure increase slightly. RPMs will settle down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this Pan American Airways DC-6. We are especially excited to welcome you on board this round-the-world flight. This is Flight 110, taking us from Delhi to Calcutta.
It's a good start on engine 3. So,
A few
engine 4.
announcements as we begin our flight.
Mixture
Everyone
is
should
on
have a look at
auto
the
rich.
safety card that is in the seat pocket in
Mags
front
are
of
on
you.
both. Engine
It
selector
has
number
important
4. Fuel
information
pumps
about
are
the
on.
location
Cranking
and
engine
offering
4.
all exits and explains other safety features of this airplane.
6,
Please keep your seat belts fastened whenever the seat belt light is on. To be safe, we recommend your seat belt stays fastened whenever you're in your seat, just in case there is unexpected
Yeah, Piper,
Please comply with
you'll hear it
instructions
occasionally
from the
doing
flight
stuff
team with regard
about
to
their
the
serving
fasten
meal
seatbelt
announcements
sign.
and, you
For
know,
those of you who have
seatbelt
never
signs
operated
are
a
on and
seatbelt
stuff.
before,
Just,
it works
just
like
to
this. Just insert
gives
your
me a little bit of
belt into the buckle until it
ambiance.
clicks, and pull on the loose end to tighten.
Alright, so we're good there.
On the top of the buckle. Be sure the seat belt
We'll bring
fits low
engine
and
2
tight
up
across your lap,
on the
and you're
mixture.
good to go. There are 2 doors.
Mags
one in
are
the
set.
rear on the
Engine
left,
mode
and
selector
one in the
number
front
2.
on the right. There are
Fuel
also
pumps
now
on.
window exits along
Cranking
the
engine 2.
fuselage. Each door and window exit is indicated by an exit sign. Take a moment to look around and find your closest exit. This may be behind you.
12.
In the event the cabin pressure suddenly changes.
There we go. Engine 2 is now up and running. One more to go.
Take it out of the package and place the vest over your head. The strap goes around your waist and attaches
Mixture's
to the buckle.
rich.
Pull on the end of the strap to tighten. As you
Mags
leave
to
the
both.
aircraft, pull sharply on the red handles to inflate.
Engine
The
mode
vest
selector
also
to
be
1.
inflated by blowing into the red tubes at both shoulders.
Main
Please
fuel
refrain
pumps
from
are
smoking
on
pipes
low.
or cigars on this flight. If you wish to purchase
And
cigarettes,
switches
please
are
ask
off.
one of our stewardesses for
Cranking
them.
engine
During the
number
flight, we will have a
1.
selection of snacks available, along with a meal service. We also have a fully stocked bar
There she is.
offering beer, wine, and various spirits. Tea and coffee is also available. We also offer Coca-Cola for those who do not wish to have anything strong.
Prime and booster on.
As we get ready for takeoff, please check that your seat belts
Engine's
are
turning.
fastened and your seats on tray tables are in the upright position. As the crew comes through to make a final cabin check, please let us know if you have any questions or need any
Alright,
help.
it's a good start.
Promise to do
Let's get
everything
the
to
engines
make sure
back
you have a
to
safe,
low idle.
comfortable flight. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you for choosing to fly Pan Am.
It's my oil pressure light coming on. Don't worry about that. Alright. Switches are off. We have all 4 engines are up and running. Let's have the after start checklist.
Start selected. Boost pumps. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Alright, so we're done with everything there. After start checks are done. So our plan is to go out to Link 8. And then we'll taxi along Yankee. And then come across Yankee 5 to holding point Yankee 5 for runway 29er. So we're going to put the reversers on. Let's hope it works this time. Manual braking, parking brake released. So we're going to be pushing right back to where we can taxi. So the aircraft props are in beta. We're going to use them to give us our pushback. Bring it up the throttles. Try that again. It's funny how sometimes she just doesn't want to do it. All right. So all the props are back into normal mode. We're just going to do a cheaty Microsoft pushback push. It doesn't seem to want to unstick us from the ground. You can do it though, and we have done it sometimes in the past when we got it working. The only problem with this way is I can only go straight back. There's no rudder steering for this. But that's fine. We'll put the nose onto the taxi line. And now we'll be ready to go from there. Brian, give that another try. I gave the bot a kick again. See if it's awake. There we go. Parking brake is now on. And we're going to taxi this way out to the left. Yeah, it should be working now, Brian. Yeah, I just saw that. Alright, so let's get ourselves lined up here. We get a little bit of a raised seat view so we can see outside. And let's head out to the runway. Once again, we are recreating the Pan American Airways around the world itinerary. We left Chicago. This is the 10th leg of our flight, and we're in India now. We're about halfway around the world, and we'll be keeping heading east all the way around to we get back to Chicago again eventually. If you want to join us on these flights, all my live streams are community flights, either multiplayer such as this one or on VATSIM. And you're more than welcome to join in. I'll get the Discord up in the chat. I'll actually copy it over onto the Twitch side so that the link is there. All the information about the flights are posted there, and you can get everything you need to come along and join us. We fly everything from small general aviation airplanes on sightseeing flights to the big modern airliners. There we go. And I'll also just copy that over into the Twitch chat. This type of flying is best done as a community. It's more fun that way when you got other people flying along with you, such as Nick and Kevin today. There we go. Nick, how we doing over there? And like I said, I got some new entertainment. I managed to source some new movies and stuff, so we'll be throwing a movie on once we're up and into the cruise. And we'll be cruising at 13,000 feet today. Alright, while we taxi along, Fred and Roger can do our before takeoff checklist.
First stops. Pumps on low. Fuel selector and cross feed. Main tanks and cross feed off. Autopilot and carb intake. Off and calm. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
Oh, you're good? Okay. Good to see. So if you're watching and you haven't already, please consider subscribing and throwing a like on the video. If you're over on Twitch, give us a follow. Our main chat is on the YouTube channel, but I am watching the Twitch chat as well. We have a special goal when we reach 350 subscribers. We're only a couple away. We will be doing a special flight I've arranged to kind of celebrate that, and it will take us on an interesting real-world route, but I'm going to keep that as a secret until we get there.
Before takeoff checks complete.
Alright, before takeoff checks are done, cabin is ready. A couple final things we have to... Oh, thanks for the follow there, Piper. Piper 99. Very interesting spelling. Do appreciate it. So here's the end of the taxiway. We're going to turn right and head down to the runway 29er here. And then we'll stop short of the runway, make a few final setup points. Everything is warmed up, and then we'll be good to go. It's interesting on my my charts for this airport, the center taxiway thing here is not shown. Looks like an old runway, actually. This part, well, yeah, I guess it's shown on there as well. Looks like they pushed the runway out and then extended it. good. We're departing early. Always like getting off the ground early. So our arrival time into Calcutta is 2020 local time. We'll, looks like the clock's changed by an hour. So it could be a night landing when we get there. Alright, so brakes are set. A couple things we're going to do. Our initial heading is 154, so we'll set that into the OBS now. It won't be exact because we'll be offset from the airport by the time we do it, but it will just make it a little bit easier to get it there in the first place. And we're going to come down, we're going to check everything is good. Everything is good up top. And we're good to move out. Get out here and take our position up. See that haze off there in the distance. Definitely gonna have a major visibility impact. Okay, parking brake is set. And we are good to go. We just gotta do one last setting here. 13,000 feet for the cabin pressurization. It's the problem with having these guys in the back do this. They mention pressurization, but then they don't check to make sure it's set. And I missed it. 13,000 feet is set. And the window is closed. So we're under 86,000 pounds. It'll be a dry takeoff.
30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
Well, that was rude. Power coming up.
30 inches stabilized. Cal flaps. Cal flaps. Cal flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
Alright, power coming up. Again, we're aiming for 13,000 feet. Takeoff speed will be about 98 knots. And we're going to aim for an initial climb out of 120.
Full power set.
Full power. Brakes are released. Airspeed's live. $80 knots. V1 rotate. There's our climb out.
Buzzer rate, gear up. Gear selected up.
There's our 120.
Gear
Hold
up,
it while the
notch
gear
up.
comes up. It's 400 feet. Gonna ease the nose down for 130 knots. Hi, Willie. Yeah, just took off out of Delhi.
Flaps up.
130 knots.
Flaps going up.
Flaps coming up. And we're slowly going to let the speed build to 165. Not too fast, though. We want to keep climbing.
Medial power. Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2600 RPM.
Alright, there's 1,000 feet. We're going to begin our left-hand turn. Swing around to 154 degrees.
Climb power. Setting climb power.
Climb power is being set.
Climb power set.
There's Delhi down below.
Takeoff checklist, please.
We're getting above that smog layer.
After takeoff checks complete.
There's 154 degrees. We'll roll out. The nose down. We want 165 on the climb. And we want to be climbing. A little bit of trim. There we go. Come over down to the gyro pilot. Turn it on. Engage the clutch. We'll see where she steadies out. And then we'll make our pitch adjustments. But we now have the localizer come in, so we will pick up the radio war on and switch to localizer mode. 92 miles out from the Agra VOR. And we're slightly fast on the speed, so we'll give it a couple notches on the glide wheel just to get us down to that 165 and keep us climbing. Willie, did you get a chance to look at the route for Thursday? We're getting above that smog layer. Oh, that was horrible. Everything's looking good. Outside air temperature is 10 degrees. See how the guys are doing back there. There's Kevin, there's Nick, and you can see that smog over Delhi. Ugh. Alright, we're a little slow, so we'll do a couple notches downwards. Okay, let me know if there's any issues with it. Alright. Well, as we're climbing out, throw on the radio for a little bit until we're up into the cruise. Let's monitor our speed for 165. Somewhere around 165 is good. 7,000 feet. Move the pad down. Great cloudless views of the sky as we look out, though. So other than the smog, it's pretty good. It's going to be an interesting arrival, though. It's IFR conditions. With they were having thunderstorms in the area. They seem to have cleared off at the moment, but it is hazy with still got some buildup in the area, and really got some rain showers kicking around. So it'll be interesting to see what we run into when we get down there. It's 9,000 feet coming up. $4,000 to go. Very flat part of the countryside here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic
have we
devices.
really?
This is also a reminder to please vote fast while you're seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatory.
Come down, we look at our engines. BMEP is fine. Our manifold pressures are good. Fuel flow is good. Engine RPMs are good. Our temperatures and pressures are all looking good. Temperature's down to 0 degrees, so we're going to come up, turn on the windshield heat to the first setting. And we'll see where it sits when we get to 13. We may have to go to the second setting if it drops below 0. And the cabin is pressurizing nicely now that we're above 9,000 feet. Just faintly make out what I think are mountain ranges on the edge of the horizon there. We are in the area of the world where we did the flight around Mount Everest a few weeks ago. So we may be able to see them off at a distance. I don't know with this haze though. We will have to see. It's 2,000 feet to go. All right, Willie, have a good show. $500 feet to go, so we're going to ease off on our climb rate. Make it easier to capture the altitude. No, we're going to 13,000. Sorry. Still got a bit to go. Now we got about 1,000 feet to go.
Whether you could use 50,000, 1.5 million, or even 3 million, that cash is available to you. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
Just looking at my charts, we're looking good. There we go, 600 feet to go. Ideally, we want to be under 500 feet per minute when we do the altitude capture. Start easing it off. Couple more notches. Some 100 feet to go. And there's 13,000 feet. Altitude capture is on. So we're going to start accelerating now. We're above 180. So cruise checklist.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power.
Cruise power is being set. That'll bring us up to around 200 knots. Engines are being set. Manifold pressure being pulled back. And you should go into auto lean on the mixture.
Please look in the seat back for our menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order. If you would like to order additional menu items,
There they go.
please hit the flight
They
attendant
see our
call
fuel
button
consumption
and
dropping.
Cruise checks are complete.
And we're now into cruise, and they're starting breakfast service in the back, which, because it's hooked into my clock, it's breakfast time here. It would be a late lunch, early time is it? Well, coming up to 5, early dinner service. In flight. And there we are in the cruise. So 57 miles to go to the VOR. And we're just going to follow the VORs all the way down to Calcutta. So with that done, I'm going to go off mic for a while and fly in the plane. I'll get you set up in the back with some in-flight entertainment. Enjoy the flight and enjoy the service from the cabin crew. We'll talk again when we brief our descent and landing. Enjoy the flight.
late, Ma. When do we eat, huh?
Huey, my baby.
Ma, I'm hungry. Oh, gee, Ma, Dad, Dolphin.
Come and get it!
You're a glutton.
What a clock.
He's a pig, not a duck.
Here we going swimming. Here we going swimming.
Oh, but baby, you can't swim.
Now she tells me. Hiya, Mom.
He's a menace to the community. A bad influence on our children. He's just a bad egg.
He should have stood in his shell.
They've got to leave here immediately. Oh, heavens to Dixie! It's that awful fox! Huey, we're dead ducks. Hello? Help somebody! The fox is killing my child!
Oh, you want to play with me? Now I got you. Oh, gosh. Let's play some more games.
Games? Games? Yeah. Let's play hide and seek.
Come on, wherever you are. That would be the fox's secret. Gee, he's hiding too good. There you are. I win. It came for me this time. I know you're in there. I think you're trying to kill me.
Genuine fox first.
the same bathroom. I think I'd better introduce myself. I'm Vera Claiborne, Mrs. Owen's secretary.
Oh, my name is Emily Brent.
Is there anything you want, miss? Well, I'd like to see Mrs. Owen. I'm Mrs. Owen's new secretary. I expect you know that. No, miss. I don't know anything.
Just a list of the ladies and gentlemen who are invited for the weekend.
Didn't Mrs. Owen mention me?
I haven't seen Mrs. Owen yet. We only came here a few days ago.
This is a large house without her here.
Just me and Rogers, miss.
Does Mr. Owen know we've arrived?
He's not here yet, sir. Where's Mrs. Owen? Oh, they were delayed in London, sir. I got a letter. They'll be here for dinner. 8 o'clock.
We tell the story in Ireland about the 2 Englishmen who were cast away on a desert island for 3 years and never spoke to each other because they had been introduced.
I'm not English. My name is Prince Nikita Starlov. Call me Nicky.
Well, that breaks the ice, gentlemen. I'm Judgment Cannon.
How do you do, sir? I'm, Dr. Armstrong. My name's Lombard. Philip Lombard. I'm General Mandrake.
Sir John Mandrake, isn't it, General? Some years ago, I was called in consultation. Your wife was ill.
My wife is dead, John.
If you gentlemen will be good enough to follow me, I will show you to your rooms.
I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
Bloor.
Law.
William Henry Bloor.
Oh, Philip Lombard.
I'm afraid you've got the wrong bag.
You're very observing, Mr. Bloor. CM, Charles Morley, an old friend of mine. I like his taste. I even bought him his clothes.
Oh, excuse me, Doctor. I thought this was a closet. It seems we're sharing a bathroom.
Oh, I didn't know.
The only time I regret being a bachelor is when I have to dress for dinner.
Let me help you.
Thank you.
Do you know this part of the English coast?
No, I can't say I do.
Something magical about an island.
Yeah, like a little world of its own.
How would you like to spend your last days here?
Oh, no thanks. I think a weekend will be enough.
We all build islands. Imagination represents escape. Half my patients are sick because they're trying to escape reality.
Well, what's your answer?
I tell them fairy tales. I build them islands of imagined security.
Don't you believe in medicine, Doctor?
Do you believe in justice, Judge?
Mr. Bloor?
Yes?
The bathroom's yours.
Do you think they're done?
Done enough for them. Oh!
Yeah.
Don't stand there gawking. Get them up.
Did you wash the floor this morning?
Do you suppose I have time for everything? It's not right to go inviting a house full of guests.
I'll talk to Mr. Owen when he comes.
You tell him we're quitting. The agency didn't tell us the house was so big, so lonely.
You knew it was an island.
Huh, with only one house. Makes me nervous. Here! What they don't know won't hurt them.
Everyone has to eat a pick of dirt before he dies.
Passenger, may I propose a toast to our gracious hostess, Mrs. Owen? Doctor, I saw you. You drank water. It's bad luck.
Water never hurt anyone, sir. Especially my profession.
Don't forget the old proverb, Doctor. Never trust a man who doesn't drink.
Sounds like the Bible. Great book. And now I give you our charming host, Mr. Owen. Jolly good fellow. And I hope that will conclude all possible too. Tell me, Miss Clayton, why do they call this place Indian Island?
I don't know.
Excuse me, sir. The boatman told me it's because it's shaped like the head of an Indian.
Oh, that accounts for the little Indians. Indians! We're not out of boat, sir. I drink to the Indians, each little Indian individual. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little Indians.
10 little Indians. It's like a nursery rhyme. 10 little Indian boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9.
Oh, poor little fellow. Here's to him. What happened to the others?
9 little Indian boys sat up very late, one overslept himself, and then there were 8.
Very well.
Your partner rhymes on the piano. Mr. Owen seems to be fond of little
Eight little Indian boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay right there, and then there were 7. 7 little Indian boys chopping up drumsticks. Till one chopped himself in half, and then there were 6. 6 little Indian boys playing with a hive. Bumblebee from one of them. Then there were 5. 5 little Indian boys going in for law. Now one got in chancery, and then there were 4. 4 little Indian boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. 3 little Indian boys walking in the snow. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2.
The place for nursery rhymes is in the nursery.
Don't worry, Judge. He's down to the last Indian.
Little Indian boys sitting in the sun. One got all frizzled up, and then there was 1 little Indian boy left all alone. But boy, so he went and hanged himself, and then there were none.
Silence, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Mr. Owen, speaking. You are charged with the following crime. General Sir John Mandrake, that you did deliberately send your wife's lover, Lieutenant Arthur Macefield, to his death. Emily Brent, that you did cause and bring about the death of your young nephew, Peter Brent. Dr. Edward G. Armstrong, that through uncontrolled drunkenness you did kill Mrs. Mary Cleese. Prince Nikita Stala, that you were guilty of the murder of Fred and Lucy Marlowe. Vera Claythorne, that you did murder your sister's fiancé, Richard Barclay. Judge Francis J. Quintana, that you were responsible for the death by hanging of one Edward Seaton. Philip Lombard, that you were guilty of the death of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. William H. Bloor, that by perjuring your testimony, you did bring about the death of James Landor, Thomas and Ethel Rogers. That you brought about the death of your invalid employer, Mrs. Jennifer Brady. Prisoners at the bar of justice, have you anything to say in your defense? Silence, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Mr.
What's going on here? What kind of a practical joke is this?
It's on the record.
An outrageous lie.
It's called Swan Song. Yes.
I did, sir. I didn't know what it was. On my oath, I didn't know. It was just to be an orders. Whose orders? Mr. Owen?
Now, let's get this quite clear. Mr. Owen's orders were what?
Put the record on at 9 o'clock. It was sealed up. I thought it was just a piece of music. It's the truth, sir. I haven't seen Mr. Owen. I was telling my wife.
I tell you we shouldn't have come here. I want to get away. I won't touch that money.
Shut up.
First thing to do, Rogers, is to get your wife to bed.
May I have your attention, please? This letter to Rogers is signed by Mr. U.N. Owen. I must confess I don't know Mr. Owen personally. What kind of a man is he? Who knows?
You all come to a house and you don't know the host.
What about yourself, Your Highness?
Oh, with me it's different. I am a professional guest.
I knew we shouldn't have come here.
Quiet it all.
I knew somebody would find out about it someday. I told you.
Shut up, I tell you. She's quite out of her head, Doctor.
Hysteria induced by shock. Give it a sedative. 10 drops and half a glass of water.
Yes.
She doesn't sleep, repeat the dose in 2 hours.
Oh, I hope she'll sleep, Doctor.
Dr. Armstrong, we've taken all the evidence except your own. What's your reason for being here?
Well, quite frankly, I came here professionally. I received a letter from Mr. Owen asking me to come here and spend the weekend and pretend to be a guest so that I'd examine his wife who had refused to see a doctor.
I'll summarize our findings. We've all received letters from old, trusted friends inviting us to spend the weekend here as guests of their friends, the Owens. Miss Claythorne was employed through an agency and told to report to Mrs. Owen. This letter to Mr. Lombard is the only one directed from Mr. Owen. Very peculiar. I might even call it threatening. What do you say?
I'd say that the only person whose presence here hasn't been explained is that gentleman.
Well, Your Honor, no need to conceal any longer. I'm here to do a job. I was hired.
By whom?
This man Owen.
You saw him?
No. He closed a fat money order with that. Told me to join the house party and pose as one of the guests. I run a detective agency in Plymouth. I got me credentials.
Look here, Judge. All of these letters refer to our host as U.N. Owen. U.N. Owen. Unknown.
Yeah, Mr. Unknown is not only in Texas here under false pretenses, but he's taking the trouble to find out a great deal about us all.
That's a lie.
Not me.
Listen, my friends. The accusation is true. Now I remember. A year ago, 2 people in the road. I was driving fast.
What happened?
They took my license away.
What about the 2 people?
I ran over them. Beastly bad luck.
I'm still not clear as to the purpose of our unknown host in getting us to assembly.
In my opinion, this person, whoever he may be, is not of normal mind. He may be dangerous.
I think it would be well for us all to leave this island immediately.
I quite agree, sir. Rogers, how soon can we get the boat from the mainland?
I can't, sir. There's no telephone. The boat only comes twice a week, sir. It won't come again till Monday.
And this is only Friday. You've no boat here?
No, sir.
Why do you want to leave, my friend? Why don't we get to the bottom of this mystery? It's wonderful. Hurry!
Our time of life, sir, we've no desire for thrills, as you call them.
Your legal mind has lost its taste for adventure. I am all for crime, Your Honor. May I propose a toast? Here is to crime.
Perfectly disgusting. Drink like heaven.
Huh? What'd you say?
Not moving. Just plain drunk.
Just plain dead. What'd the doctor say?
What?
What are you looking at, Roger? Improvement. You look more than that. You look more new. The fellow in his wheel he's only recent. Then you know more than you told us. Come, Rogers. I'm quite sure that there's no one else on the line. I'm Swift. I believe you, Rogers. But I'm afraid you're still in this beach. Don't touch it.
I thought you'd gone to bed, Mr. Blower.
Not professional. Doctor, we don't always do what we appear to do. Perhaps it's the same in yours.
Why don't you want me to touch that match?
I thought it'd be inadvisable for you to have your fingerprints on it. Smell it.
Bittersweet.
Sure he's on?
That, I believe, comes under your profession, sir.
Doctor! Dr. Armstrong! Dr. Armstrong.
What is it, Rogers?
It's the wife, sir. She doesn't look like her.
Go ahead, I'll follow you.
Good morning, Miss Brent. I hope you slept better than I did.
I slept very well, thank you. I have nothing on my conscience.
Good morning, General.
Good morning. General Mandrake.
Yes, Juliet? Oh, forgive me, young lady. I was thinking of my wife.
Good morning, Miss Claythorne. What about breakfast? You mind if I sit down like this? Morning, Judge. Morning, Miss Brent. Why, is something worrying you?
I don't understand it.
A lot of things I don't understand, sir.
These are your figures. How many were there last night? 10.
Yeah.
Rogers found one broken after 10. And now, how many? 8. Only 8. That's what I counted.
Oh, let Mr. Owen worry about it. They're his Indians. What about breakfast?
I'm afraid you'll have to go without breakfast. Mrs. Rogers died in her sleep.
What?
How? Heart failure?
Heart certainly failed to beat. caused it to fail, I cannot say.
Conscience?
Oh, conscience, my eye. What about her husband? He was scared to death. I fear his wife would talk her.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry there's no breakfast prepared, but you see, my wife...
It's all right, right in here.
Oh, it's right, it's here.
But I thought you told us he was dead.
His wife.
Eh?
His
Right.
Wife? I don't think a man would ever kill his wife, no matter how guilty she was.
It's me when no man...
2 accidental deaths in 12 hours. I don't believe it.
All right. What do you say, Judge?
How does the Ryan Gomez Clayton? They're 10 little Indians.
One choked his little self, and there were 9.
Go on.
Another slapped himself, and there were 8.
There are 8 people on this island.
Come on. I'll be ready in a minute. Take your time. You know, I got it.
Got what?
There's one thing this fellow Owens forgot. His own is at the bare rock. We'll catch that rabid maniac. You think? John, you mean Rogers is mine? No. That's why I think he's telling the truth. Lunatics like Owens have found a hiding place before Rogers arrived here. It doesn't matter if Rogers is lying or not. You agree that Mr. Owen and his squad is hiding, don't you? It'll certainly be dangerous. We ought to be armed.
Yeah, it's too bad we're not allowed to carry firearms in England. It puts the normal citizen at a great disadvantage.
You mean you haven't any weapon?
You know, Flo, it's strange, but I came to the same conclusion you did. Mr. Owen is hiding. Maybe inside this house.
Yeah, whoever the cop is.
I have a feeling I'm being watched. Secretly.
What do you see?
I thought I heard a strange voice. Gentlemen, I have come to the conclusion that the invisible Mr. Owen is hiding somewhere on this island.
Extraordinary. I was looking for you to tell you the same thing.
That's what I think, sir.
Me too.
We've all come to the same thing. We must find this place of concealment immediately.
So long as there is a lunatic at large, we are in mortal danger.
Did you hear that? Hello, Puss. Looking for a mouse? So are we.
What I'd like to know is whether we're the cat or the mouse. Nobody in the general's room, not even the general. What about the old boy?
I don't know. I don't think he even knows where he is himself.
Oh. Nothing in there but the Russian. I keep hearing that song he was singing last night, just before he popped off. In the living.
That certainly was his swan song.
One thing is certain, He isn't inside, therefore he must be outside.
Brilliant thinking, Lord.
Right?
I'm afraid it's no use watching for the boat. It won't come till Monday.
No boat will ever come, Juliet. We're here forever. What made you love him, Juliet?
John!
Oh. Forgive me, my child. You don't understand.
Nobody. Not a living thing.
Not even a hiding place.
Not even a seagull could hide down there.
I don't understand it.
Maybe we've been wrong. Built up a nightmare out of imagination.
2 people dead isn't imagination.
The Russian may have committed suicide.
And Mrs. Rogers?
Well,
You didn't give her an overdose last night, did you?
doctors can't afford to make mistakes of that kind. We cannot blunder as detectives sometimes do.
Wouldn't be your first mistake if that gramophone record is to be believed.
Gentlemen, this is no time for quarreling.
Let's face it, we're in a trap.
You shouldn't forget the 10 little Indians on the dinner table.
That's right. Mr. Owen's hand is plain to see.
Yes, but where the devil is Mr. Owen himself?
Mr. Owen is on this island. You'll catch his death of cold.
That's supposed to be a joke. I don't see the point.
All we have to do is to keep quiet and we'll hear him sneeze.
I'm sorry. It's only cold meat and salad. I did the best I could.
Oh, yeah. Come on. You call General Mandrake?
I looked in his room, miss, but he's not there.
Didn't he come in the house?
I didn't see him, Doctor.
Last time I saw him, he was moving around on the beach.
It seemed quite abnormal.
I know where he is.
You stay here, Miss Clayton.
You'd say the General was behaving very strangely.
Like a man out of his mind.
In other words, a lunatic.
Righto, the old boy's balmy.
In regards to this story, they're first McMahon.
Well, aren't we looking for a lunatic?
He said no boat will ever come.
Then he knows something. Maybe he's not as crazy as we think he is.
Doctor, better come with me. Don't wait for us. And don't wait for the General any longer.
Poison gas could mean suicide. An overdose of sedative might have been an accident. But this instrument, which you saw me remove from the back of the third victim, means only one thing. Murder.
Or an act of God.
My dear lady, in my experience of ill-doing, Providence leaves the work of punishment to us mortals. Evidently, Mr. Old believes we're guilty of certain crimes which the law cannot touch, and he's appointed himself to execute justice.
That is why he has enticed us to this island.
There's no one on this island, I tell you, no one.
Dr. Armstrong. What is it, man?
There's another little Indian figure missing.
That accounts for the General.
I was expecting that. You just said there's no one on this island. the sense you mean, no. Nevertheless, I'm now certain that Mr. Owen is here. How can he be here?
I don't believe in the invisible man.
He's not invisible. Mr. Owen could only come to this island in one way. It's perfectly clear. Mr. Owen is one of us.
I'm just studying Mr. Owen's little scheme.
Maybe you know how the general was killed.
My dear Blore, can't you read? 8 little Indian boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there was 7. The old soldier stayed here, didn't he?
Am I disturbing your little game?
Not at all, Blore.
Nothing clears the mind like a game of precision.
What game are you playing, Judge?
We've come to the conclusion, the Doctor and I, that this whole story is a game of the mind. Here we are. 8 of us came to this island. The Rogers were waiting for us.
Don't forget, waiting for us.
One of the 10 is Mr. Owen.
We agree on that.
Out of all of us, 3 persons are definitely clear.
Who? The dead ones.
Our Russian friend, Mrs. Rogers, and the General. 7 little Indians left.
6. One is bogus.
Correct, sir. One of us is Mr. Owen.
Which one?
Where's your alibi?
I'm not like you, Mr. Blore. I'm a well-known professional man.
I did, Doctor. That proves less than nothing. I, too, am a well-known person. But doctors have gone mad before now. Judges have gone mad. So policemen. And, may I say, explorers, Mr. Lombard.
You may, you may.
Why do you leave this place or not?
We don't.
No, you, my dear lady.
I quite appreciate that nobody can be exonerated without proof.
What about Rogers?
That's what I'm thinking. What do we know about him?
He put that record on the gramophone, didn't he?
That's a fact. How do we know Rogers didn't leave his house and pretend to be the butler?
Bad psychology. You can rule Rogers out definitely.
I don't see why.
Look at the shape of his head. He hasn't the brains for it.
And don't forget there's something else, sir. My wife was one of the victims.
In my time, Rogers, I've had several husbands before me guilty of the murder of the wives.
Well, you put it that way, sir, they do sometimes drive a man crazy.
We must suspect each and every one among us.
Now, I warn everybody to be on his guard. If not, we shall all go the same way. And Mr. Owen will very soon be alone on this island.
E flat, Miss Claypool. Aren't you afraid the others will think you're playing? No, probably.
Can't stand silence. I have to do something.
Go on. If it's any comfort to you, there's one person who doesn't suspect you.
Thank you.
Aren't you going to return the compliment?
I haven't made up my mind about you, Mr. Lombard.
Whom do you suspect?
One there is the fire.
I think you're wrong.
Or who then?
A
man who believes in punishing crimes. His brain might snap. They'd want to be executioner after having been a judge.
Rogers, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Did you prepare a nice dinner?
Oh, just cold meat, sir.
See now. Sure you do your best, Rogers.
Is plenty of food for the weekend? Oh, yes, sir. Everything was provided for. Oh, Mr. Blow, may I ask you a question?
Of course, my dear fellow.
How many will you be for dinner tonight?
But... Oh, I see what you mean. Don't forget your boat, Rogers. In a case like this, a secret boat is the only way to bring out into the open what we're all thinking.
No, never touch it, no. But, under the circumstances.
Now, who do we suspect of being Mr. Owen? Mr. Lombard, one vote. Mr. Blow, one vote. Dr. Armstrong, one vote. Rogers, one vote. Miss Brent, one vote. Now, I see I haven't been neglected. One vote. Another vote for you, Rogers. You win.
You mean, sir, that I am being accused?
Well, it's not precisely a majority, but you have the most votes.
They're saying it's me because I'm only a butler. You said I didn't have the brains to do it.
I didn't vote for you, Rogers.
Well, who did then?
You didn't drink the cocktail you just served.
You think I poisoned those cocktails? I'll show you, sir. Picking on an innocent man. I can't touch even a drop of alcohol. No, wait, don't do that. And if that's what you think of me, I'm not going to serve any dinner. Oh,
Don't look so offended, Rogers.
If it had been anybody but you, sir.
I'm sorry, Rogers, but how do I know you didn't vote for me?
I didn't, Your Honor. I voted for... Well, time will tell.
After all, Rogers, nobody in this house is above suspicion.
Never in my life have I been accused of any crime, sir.
what about that gramophone record?
What about it?
That woman you worked for, she left you some money, didn't she? Let's not stand on her dignity, Rogers. After all, she was sick. Didn't you, shorten her suffering in this world? With the complicity, of course, of poor Mrs. Rogers.
I'm not going to argue. But what makes you think I would kill anybody who wasn't going to leave me any money?
Obviously, we can't sit up all night like this. I'm going to retire. Good night.
If you don't mind, I'll say good night, too.
If you don't mind, Miss Redbourne, I'd rather go upstairs alone.
May I remind you, Miss Brentford, I'm the only one whose name wasn't mentioned in the voting.
That's what I mean. I find that fact most peculiar.
I know Miss Brent won't mind if there's a third person.
Not so fast, Mr. Lombard. I'll go with you.
The more the merrier.
And safer.
Warm in here, isn't it?
Yeah, quite warm.
And, lonely.
Yeah, quite lonely, quite lonely.
Rogers!
Yes, sir? Oh, would you mind giving us company for a while?
Anything you wish, sir.
Don't put any water in.
I shall, sir.
Good night, Miss Claythorne. Don't forget to lock your door.
You cannot lock out the devil.
There's another one who's bombing. So it'll end with the old lot going that way.
I don't fancy you will, Lord.
No. Take a lot to send me off my head. I don't think you'll be going that way either.
I feel quite sane at the moment. Thank you.
Have you told him?
Yes, sir. I know the jury's decision. You would feel safer if I didn't stay inside the house tonight. Well, then, I shall sleep in the woodshed. And now, if you'll excuse me, good night.
I'll lock it behind him.
That's not enough, Mr. Blow. Still 7. Lock that door, please. Put the key there. We'll have no more Indian tricks tonight. Lock it, Mr. Blow.
No way. Now no one can get in there but you.
Oh, I see. Well, but who's going to keep it?
Roger. Open up, Roger.
Keep away from that door.
It's me, Lombard. Open up.
You take me for a fool, Mr. Lombard.
Don't be silly, Roger.
Don't be silly yourself, sir.
This is Judge Buchanan.
You know my voice, Rogers. Dr. Armstrong.
This is door, Rogers.
Open the door.
At a time like this, I wouldn't open the door even if it was Santa Claus.
We just want to give you a key.
What for?
Never mind, you idiot.
Hurry up, it's raining.
Shove it under the door, sir.
Good night, Roger. Keep your door locked.
Don't worry about me, sir.
Be careful, Judge.
Oh, I shall. You know, the common cold kills more people than... Never mind.
I need hardly advise you to lock your doors.
And
Put a chair under the handle. There are ways of turning locks from the outside.
And if it should turn out that one of you is Mr. Owen, just remember, I'm a very light sleeper. Good night.
Good night, gentlemen. May we all meet safely in the morning. Good night.
Good night.
Not here.
Grasp it back very quickly, Bloor.
What's wrong, Mr. Owen?
Miss Brent's missing.
I knocked at all your doors. She was the only one who didn't answer.
What's wrong with that? It's late. Yes, we all of us late.
I had to get up. She must have gone downstairs.
I locked that door last night.
Look. Good morning. It's such a pretty pattern. I thought I'd like to copy for a new show.
Was that door locked when you went out?
Oh, yes, I opened it.
Good morning. I too like to walk before breakfast, but I wouldn't have gone out alone.
I feel perfectly safe when I'm alone. You?
I share your feet. But didn't you know that Rogers was outside?
Poor man. I hope he didn't catch cold.
What's that?
Someone's knocking.
Kitchen door. Rogers, of course, he wants to get in.
I said we forgot all about breakfast.
Where is he?
Somebody was knocking. Rogers!
Rogers! He's not there. Rogers!
You know what I think? We got our man. It's Rogers.
It fits the psychological pattern. His behavior last night was distinctly abnormal.
Psychological pattern, my eye. I go by facts. He was officially accused. Fact. He got drunk. He wouldn't open the door to the woodshed. Fact.
Realizing this morning that he'd gone to the end of his rope, he disappeared.
Fact.
Another fact you haven't mentioned about Rogers. He's dead.
The murder was fastidious. He cleaned this blade after striking down his victim. Obviously, he crept up behind, swung this chopper, and brought it down, splitting the cranium.
7 little Indian boys chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in half. Then there were 6.
Would it have needed much strength to strike the
Well, a woman could have done it, if that's what you mean.
Miss Claiborne was locked in her room, Doctor. That's what you mean.
We were all in our room. Except...
No breakfast yet?
No.
I had a butler like Rogers. I'd soon get rid of him.
Wait, we forgot something.
What?
The dining room. Still out. Where's the key?
We found it in Rogers' pocket.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Another one missing?
But the door was locked. I get it.
No, I don't. you ever hear of a bee sting being played on?
No. Why?
6 little Indian boys playing with a hive. Bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5.
Very stupid. You're the only servant in the house. Now we don't even know where to find them out.
Watch out for a bee.
I'd be careful of that young man.
I mean to, Miss Brent. I'm careful of everyone.
Clear conscience is the best island. This island is an image of life. Innocence has to live surrounded by criminals.
That sounds like Mr. Owen talking.
I see nothing wrong with his idea of punishing the guilty.
What about his accusations against you?
I wonder if these eggs are fresh.
What about it, Miss Brent? Your young nephew, aren't you to blame for his death?
Family gossip, Miss Claythorne. My sister's boy had bad blood, from his father's side, of course. Whipping did no good. Naturally, I had to have him placed in the reformatory. Do hope these eggs aren't.
What happened to the boy?
Oh, I never saw him. He added to his many sins by hanging himself.
I got it. I know who took the last Indian.
Who?
Rogers.
He had the key to this room. Back. He sneaks in and takes the little Indian, locks the door again, goes back to the woodshed where he chops some sticks, back, and then...
And then he takes the chopper and splits his own cranium, as the doctor would say. Back. I'd like to see you do that to yourself, Law. Take practice.
Anyone inside the house would even have been noticed. True respect.
Perfectly true.
The murderer meets Rogers outside and kills him. He then takes the key from his victim's pocket, and you know the rest.
Yes, but the key was still in Roger's pocket.
Of course. The murderer puts the key back in Roger's pocket and goes to bed again. All goes for an innocent walk for breakfast. Sorry, Miss Brent.
Anyone have more tea?
Lombard! Lombard!
Yes, Flo?
What you doing here?
You called me, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I ain't saying, but don't you think the old judge knows too much? Describing every move? You think he'd been at the scene of the crime?
My dear Flo, in my opinion, you have an itch.
What is that?
Lack of imagination. A criminal with a brain like you and Owen can think rings around you any time he wants.
No man ever got the better of me. Yet.
How about a woman?
Yes, yes. One should never trust a woman. She's purely ridiculous. I don't know why I didn't see her before. She was very strange in the kitchen this morning. Or behaved strangely. But I find no evidence. She left no clue. But she did.
What about this, eh?
No sane person would think of using semen as a pattern for a show.
She tried to throw us off the track. It's her. I'll stake my life it's her.
Wait. Let Miss Claythorne call her. She'll be less suspicious.
Miss Brent! Miss Brent!
No use, Miss Clayton. She'll not answer.
The bees. Look at the bees.
Just an ordinary bee, Miss Clayton.
Small mark on the neck.
Here is your bee, Doctor.
Take it. It's not here. Secret soul.
What poison did he inject?
I can only guess. She must have died.
But the bee. That bee in her room.
That's our murderer's artistic touch. He likes to stick to his bastard nursery jingle. Yeah, we're all men.
I'm not, Mr. Rudder. Instead of my reasoning powers. There are 5 of us left. One of us murdered. The rest of us are defenseless. How do we know one of us hasn't got a revolver?
Good point, Lord. How do we know?
Well, I hope I haven't got one. Jim, it indicates the law. How about you, Doctor?
Search me, John. Search me.
Michael,
I wish I had.
quite right, Miss Paper. It's an unfortunate oversight. But never be careless when putting a place one doesn't know.
Why didn't you tell us you had a revolver?
Nobody asked me.
Somebody said he wasn't.
Not you wasting your time.
I know where it is.
John, you said just now it's one of us. If I were you, I wouldn't let the door get at that gun.
It's not here.
Look again, Flo. It's got to be there. Look at his pocket.
No, take him off. We're taking him off.
What did you do with it?
What did you do with it?
Where is he?
One who can answer that question. You know, time like this.
Gave us the mind, Lord, gave us the mind.
Well, the safest thing for you to do is to stay in your room. The door locked.
Not yourself.
Oh, I wouldn't stay out here alone with any of the others.
Why not?
Don't you think it's strange there's never a third person present when anything unpleasant occurs? Mr. Owen always manages to be alone. When a third person is present, nothing happens. Doesn't that make you nervous? Out here with me alone?
But we're not alone. I asked Mr. Bloor to keep an eye on us. He's my third person.
Dog! Look, another misfortune.
What's wrong with the machinery? Batteries must be running down. You've got to keep every light in the house burning tonight. I'll go to the woodshed and see to it.
Leave it on, Doctor, leave it on.
Throw you off your game, would it, Miss Pickering?
You went away from the window and left me alone.
I got to go to the woodshed. You better go to your room and lock your door.
I shall.
Where's Miss Clayton?
I don't know.
Where's Bloor?
Went out of the woodshed.
Woodshed?
What's wrong, Doctor?
see. You and I, we are alone.
Lombard! Lombard! Come here! Don't leave us!
Where's Vera?
Vera?
This payphone, answer me.
Don't come any closer.
Where is she?
Keep back!
Lord, if you don't tell me, I swear I'll kill you.
If you make another move, I'll pay you.
No, don't. Please. Give me a chance. If you are, Mr. Orr. For heaven's sake, tell me. I won't say a word to the others.
Don't torment me this way. If you want to kill the others, I won't interfere. I won't say a word. I'll even help you if you'll spare my life.
Look, I trust you. Don't you trust me? Yes. That's Maurice.
Don't come any closer!
Isn't your arm getting tired?
Don't worry about me.
Listen, if this payphone is safe in the room as you say, we're both behaving like idiots.
Don't get round me that way. I prefer being a living idiot.
Someone's coming.
Miss Blackthorne, I told you to stay locked in your room. I'm looking for... Oh.
He's right, Vera. You shouldn't be so careless. Come on.
Stay here, both of you. Now I can do what I came out to do.
Do you know anything about electricity?
Don't bother me. I get it.
Stay where you are.
I shan't move an inch.
Neither will I. Till the light comes on.
Do you think it will?
Why not?
This is no accident. Someone wants this house to be dark tonight.
Who?
The one we fear. I did it, Doctor. Make a mistake. This trick of putting out the lights. Sears two people. You and me. Now we can trust each other.
I see. Yes, the idea was to keep us clear of each other.
But now we can form an alliance, you and I.
And fight the murderer.
We no longer have anything to conceal from each other, have we?
Just what I was thinking. Oh, I needed that.
Now we can tell each other the truth, the entire truth.
Who's going to speak first? Very well. I shall begin. As you know, Mr. Owen claimed that I was responsible for the death of one Edward C. It's perfectly true. He was an innocent man on trial for his life. I had nothing against him. I wanted to ruin the reputation of his defending counsel, who lost the case, while his client lost his life. Doctor, tell us. Your fate depends on it. I'm convinced of that.
The gramophone record did not lie. I operated on Mrs. Cleese while I was under the influence of... guilty I was, but of drinking, not of killing.
I don't see where this is getting us.
Sit down, Mr. Bloor. This is getting us to a very important conclusion. Isn't that right, Doctor?
If I were you, I would speak, Mr. Bloor.
I didn't kill anybody.
We're listening.
This landlord chap was innocent, all right. But I was mixed up with the gang that was out to get him. On my testimony, he got sent up for life. That's all.
But he died in prison, didn't he?
Of course he did. How could I know that would happen? What about yourself, Mr. Lombard? What about those 21 poor natives in South Africa?
Don't get excited, Bloor. Mr. Lombard is unable to deny a thing.
Ah,
That's the first thing you said I believe. Are you leaving us, Miss Cato? My dear child, you're trembling.
I'm so cold.
Would you like us to postpone this inquiry while we build the fire? That would mean going outside to get wood, as Rogers did. No, we'll wait while you get your coat.
Thank you.
Give me the throttle.
Stay here, Mr. Lockwood. Nothing can happen to her if we all remain in this room.
Where have you been all this time?
I went to my room to get this candle. Where have you been?
I've been looking for my flashlight. Where is Blore? Blore, what the devil are you doing in my room?
Your room? No wonder I couldn't find anything.
Captain,
Somebody bumped into me.
did you hear anything? Yeah, it sounded like a shot.
Not like something fell to me. It jumped me, both of you. No.
Spirits. Vera! Vera! What happened? Don't be frightened, dear. What happened?
He was in my room.
Who?
I felt... I don't know, something like a hand.
Who was it?
I don't know. My candles went out.
You'll soon find out.
Seaweed.
It felt like a cold hand.
That's what Miss Clayton walked into. Who brought it in here?
Who brought it into the house?
Miss Brent.
Are you sure Miss Brent is... Dead as a doornail.
Where's the judge?
That's funny. I thought he came up with us.
So did I.
He was right behind me on the staircase.
Yes. I thought I bumped into it. But I heard that shot.
Shot? What'd I tell you?
What?
Why, the old folks knew too much. You say you heard a shot? Well, you could see. He took a shot at us in the dark. You puddles like clay pigeons if we go downstairs.
There's one way to find out.
It's my own. It looks too easy. All right, Judge. Come outside. Don't think I can't see you.
He has been shot through the head.
Only one shot fired.
Who will be next? Another one proved innocent. Too late. We found the solution. That's why he had to be silenced.
Silenced by who?
By whom? Don't you remember?
One moment, Miss Takeoff. Just when the judge was about to question you, you came up here, presumably, to get your coat. True?
Yes.
You open that door.
Wind blows out your candles, seaweed touches your face. You scream. Perfect, perfect. But considerable time elapses, and then we find you way down there. What made you run the wrong way?
She didn't know where she was going. She was hysterical.
But if Miss Claythorne had not screamed, you would still be in the dining room and the judge would be alive.
Now, wait a minute. Don't confuse things. One of you two pulled this trick and you're trying to pin it on Miss Claythorne.
You wait a minute. We know very well that the judge is on point for this country.
How do we know what was in the judge's mind?
I do know. He took me into his confidence. Truth. Entire truth. Miss Claythorne, did you or did you not commit the crime of which the government accused you?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Ah, but you must. We've all confessed our little errors. All except you. Come now, my girl. You didn't really kill this rocket chap, did you?
Will you take my word if I tell you I didn't?
I'm afraid I will.
Then you have my word for it. And don't ask me any more questions.
Can't you see she's telling the truth?
That is precisely her mistake.
I don't see why.
You will. You will. The judge reasoned thus. Owen enticed us to this island to be punished for a past crime.
Right.
We three have admitted, shall I say, our guilt. Right. Therefore, we cannot be interested in the punishment of crime.
Right.
Conclusion. Owen is the one who has not committed any past crime.
I get it.
What a wonderful brain.
You think he couldn't save his own life?
Yes, but he saved ours.
Yes, of course, that's the important thing.
Do you understand now, Mr. Lombard?
Oh, it's great. Convincing. Mathematical deduction. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, no.
Not you either, Floor.
Now, nobody has it.
That's an excellent arrangement.
Now we can all sleep.
Let's turn in, gentlemen.
Good night, gentlemen.
Doctor, I find one flaw in your theory. I can destroy it in 4 words. Want to hear them? Suppose I said, I am Mr. Owen.
It would be most interesting. But quite unlike.
Trouble with you, Lombard, is nobody can believe you.
Too bad. I'm just trying to be helpful. Good night. Sleep well.
I hope I will.
I'm sure I will.
How long have you been out? Shh. How long have you been out there?
I wanted to be here to welcome Mr. Owen. Locking you in this room with the Mickey outside is a little too obvious. It's the doctor or Bloor. Unless I'm mistaken, one of them's going to come through that door at any minute.
How do I know he's not here already? Who?
You believe that you will know before.
What about me?
You're not smart enough. Quick thinking girl would have confessed to any old crime in order to clear herself of what's happening. Are you sure you didn't kill this fellow, Ron? Maybe you forgot about it. Oh, now I see that Mr. Owen isn't infallible. You don't belong in this house. You haven't killed your way into it.
Aren't you ashamed
Don't call me Mr. And don't call me Lombard. I'll tell you something about Mr. Lombard. Something else that Mr. Owen knows about.
Yes.
Give me a chance to grab him. You know what I'm saying? Don't shoot unless you have to.
I'll go around the other way.
Dick,
No, you can, because I can't get back.
he might kill you.
If he does, he's going to make a serious mistake. The other thing he doesn't know is, I am not Mr. Lombard. Now we'll find out. It's either Bloor or the doctor. One who's not in this room.
Door! Door! Get up! Open the door! Who let that girl out of her room?
Never mind about her. Come on, Bloor. He's not here. Now we know who it is. I heard him go downstairs. Come on, Bloor. We'll catch him.
How do I know you heard the doctor?
Don't be a fool, Bloor. We've no time to waste.
Life is short, and...
But I had him too, Mr. Bloor.
Oh, you did you? A nice present you got there. The Lombard's getting generous. You go first.
Come on, Vera.
Might be a trick.
Right, Bloor. Maybe he's in the house. One, two, three. 3 Indians only.
He wants to make us think he's dead.
That's to throw us off the track. You don't fool us this time, Dr. Armstrong. What's that? Lombard!
Bloor, what are you doing down there alone?
I think I know where the doctor is.
Where?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I'll wait for you.
All right, we shan't be long. Aren't you being careless, unlocking your door when you don't know who's out here?
But I thought it was you.
You heard it too, eh?
I heard you pass my door.
Not me. I thought I heard you.
We'll be starting our
Are you
in-flight
sure
meal
you haven't
service.
been outside of your
Please
room?
look in the back for our menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order. If you would like to order
Maybe
additional menu
Lord
items,
came back to
please
his
hit the
room.
flight attendant
No,
call
I
button
knocked on
at
his
any
door.
time.
I heard a noise while I was dressing.
Like a door slamming?
Exactly. You heard it too, huh? What is it?
I don't know. Feel all the time that there's someone waiting and watching.
Yes, I know what you mean. Oh, it's just nerves.
Then you have to.
Keep a grip on yourself, darling. There's nothing supernatural about this business. It's definitely human.
Is the doctor
The mad doctor.
hiding here?
We'll soon find out. He must have been looking that way. And while he was looking, Dr. Armstrong... That was Armstrong we both heard.
What was Flo looking at? What do you see? What is it?
It's impossible.
Let me see.
You're going to see. Come with me.
What is it? What is it? Tell me.
Armstrong. He's been dead for hours.
For hours?
Since the last tide. No footprints around the body.
And he was... Who killed Bloor?
Yes. There are only two people alive on this island. You?
And you.
So this is how it ends, Vera.
This is how it ends. Come to the truth now.
Yes. Truth. The entire truth.
Don't come any closer.
Oh, I see. That's not quite right, my dear. It doesn't fit in your nursery rhyme.
Don't try to talk your way out. You made one mistake. Giving me this revolver.
Look, I don't mind being killed. But I hate like the devil to be killed for someone else. Did I tell you I wasn't Lombard?
What is your name?
Charles Morley. You're not a very good detective. Mr. Bloor spotted the initials on my luggage the moment I arrived here.
Why did you come here under another name?
I knew Lombard very well. He committed suicide. I wanted to find out if Mr. Owen's letter had anything to do with it.
You expect me to believe that?
Why not? There's something much more difficult to believe. But one of us is Mr. Owen. I know I'm not. And I simply can't believe that you are.
Don't try to fool me. I know I'm not. It's got to be you. There's no other explanation.
You're so sure? Go ahead and shoot me. You see, you have a doubt.
Don't come any closer. I'll shoot.
No, you won't. You can't shoot. You still trust me, and I still trust you. There's got to be an explanation. Yes, that's it. You've got to shoot me. Now, shoot.
But it won't hit you.
That's what I mean. Shoot. Don't be frightened if I fall.
Game of the mind, Miss Baker. You came just in time for my last shot. And now, the game is over. One little Indian boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then the winner. It's for you, Miss Baker.
What if I don't agree to hang myself?
Oh, that's been taken care of. Do you mind if I sit down? Every artist has a certain amount of vanity. We all like the approbation of the public, and you are the last public. I had two great ideas. The first was a search for perfect human justice. And you've seen the result. To perfect this scheme, my second idea was to find an unwitting accomplice among the criminals invited here for punishment. I needed a respectable fool, and naturally I selected a man whose fear of death might make him extremely cooperative. I proposed a scheme to confuse the imaginary Mr. Owen. It was simply this. I must appear to be the next victim. Remember the seaweed? Armstrong and I placed it in your room. Your scream was perfect. We pretended to rush out, but according to our plan, we came back. Now, I was assumed to be dead, killed by that gun I had borrowed from Mr. Lombard, and which he found later on the step. I counted on everyone's confusion in the dark, and I counted on Armstrong, who played his part to the hilt. I knew no one would challenge the doctor's authority when he would say he has been shot through the head. After that, I had to play my part, and what a part it was. No one would suspect me, least of all the dear doctor, who thought that I was about to discover the unknown murderer, and was waiting for me on the beach and worrying me about the success of our plan. A few minutes later, he had nothing more to worry about. Justice had triumphed once again. Too late he had learned that drinking when it gets out of hand can be fatal. So you see, the whole thing has been as inevitable as the nursery rhyme. When the boat arrives in the mainland, there'll be 10 dead bodies and a riddle no one can solve.
10?
My dear child, I'm an old and sick man. I received my death sentence a year ago. Rather than go painfully and slowly, I choose to leave this wicked world with a proud record of good deeds.
How can you force me to hang myself?
The only living person found here with 9 corpses will certainly be hanged, as the last little Indian has to be. Public hanging isn't pretty. If you'll allow me to give you a piece of friendly advice, do it now, privately, or dignified. And now my work is done. You never should trust a woman.
Thanks for the advice, Mr. Owen. If I hadn't trusted you, darling, and you hadn't trusted me... By the way, why did you trust me?
Why did you?
On account of one thing Mr. Owen couldn't foresee.
morning. Ready to leave now? Oh, are we? Are the others ready too?
You call him.
goes to show how vital our organs are. You have the power to change someone's life. Register as an organ and tissue donor at viadonor.ca.
Alright, we're back in the cockpit now. Hope you've been enjoying the flight. Coming into a bit of built-up area here. We're just past Danbad. We're coming up to Asansol. And we're going to make the turn at the next VOR and head down towards Calcutta. Calcutta, as it's known now. Calcutta, as it was known back when this route was being flown. So once again, we're going to be flying directly to the airport and doing the teardrop entry into the ILS. Current weather. Just grab that here. It's not improving. In fact, it's forecast to get a little bit worse. And again, we are live time. Live weather. So there's the weather. As you can see, we got winds 140 at 4 knots. And 3,200 meters of visibility, haze, few clouds at 1,800, scattered at 10,000, 22 degrees. 1014 is the QNH, but you can see it's going to be coming 3,000 meters in haze. So it's going to be getting slightly worse. So in order to get from here down to 2,000 feet, which is the platform altitude, and the altitude we want to be at when we first overfly the airport at the VOR, it's going to take 60 miles. We'll add 15 for slowdown, and then it'll give us a little bit extra as we come over top of the airport. We have a 2,000 foot MSA, 25 nautical miles out from the airport, so that's all good. And should not be any issues there. So we're going to descend about 15 miles after we make the next turn at the next VOR. So here's the approach. You can see it's runway 19 left, ILS Zulu. This approach, we climb straight ahead to 2,000 feet, turn left to join the VOR. So basically we come back, turn left, and then rejoin, try again. And there's the loop you can see. When we get out to 6 miles out, we make the turn, loop around, come back in, and we intersect. So looking down here at the bottom, and we should be going at about 660 feet per minute on the descent. It is the ILS, so we don't have to worry about it. It's a Cat 1 landing. That's all this airplane can do. So we have a full Cat 1, because we're going to have the glide slope, and we're going to have the vocalizer. That gives us an RVR of 550 meters. We're expecting 3,200, so we should be good there. We have a decision altitude of 247 feet. Airport elevation is up here is 18 feet, so we're right down on the coast. Transition level of 4,000, but we're going to be descending right down to 2,000 feet. And we do have a caution here. It says, do not mistake Barrackport for Calcutta, which has similar runway alignment, identified runway 19 or left before landing. I'm not sure where that airport is located, but obviously it's close if they're giving us a warning, so we'll have to watch out for that. So we're just under 14 miles out from the next VOR, and we can see VOR, our nav2 is already picking up the second VOR, the one we're going to be heading to. Or you would be able to see that if I got rid of the chart. So everything's lining up and looking good. Definitely you see some of that light cloud out there. So as we get ready for descent, we'll do a quick check through. Fuel levels are all looking good. Everything's looking good above. No warning lights or anything up there. Come down here to the main panel. We can see our BMEPs are all good. Manifold pressures are all good. Fuel flow is looking good. Engine RPMs are set. We're still on the cruise. Cylinder head temperatures are looking good. Our water pressures are good. Fuel pressure is good. Oil pressure is good. Oil temps are in the green. Carb heats are good. And the flight engineer is monitoring that. Anyway, no complaints from the cabin crew. Just going to start getting ready for our arrival. Yeah, I kind of laughed when I saw Wade put 253 miles. Figured he had it wrong, so I quickly looked it up. It's not a long flight. As I said, just over about 3.5 hours airtime. So on that note, tomorrow should have been our European capitals tour, and we are in Eastern Europe for that. Currently sitting in Warsaw. Given what's going on over in the region, going to suspend that series because our next flights take us into Belarus and that, and just not appropriate at this time. So we're going to suspend it, hold that there until a future date, and then we will replace it with something new. And I think we're going to be in the A320 for Monday nights. So I'll be posting more information on that later today on the Discord. But we're going to jump back into the A320 for a while. So that should be a good one. And we'll see about resuming the European Capitals tour later on. A pig's ear. Some people would say that's good eating. Not too sure about that. Literally what he means, pig's ear. I don't know the origin of the saying, but basically it means he messed it up. Alright, well, we've just overflown our VOR as I was chatting there, so let's kick that in and we'll switch over to where we want to be going. And we'll head down towards the airport. And there we are. So our next one that we're going to tune in is the ILS. That's 110.3. That's now tuned in. We'll tune it in over there just so we have it in the standby. That's going off. So in about 3 or 4 miles, we're going to start our descent. So we're going to switch over to red lighting in the cockpit to get us ready for the landing. Do some screen darkening here so that we are all good for this. I'm not getting blinded. There we go. All right. So we're going to start down at 2,000 feet. The way we're going to do that is we're going to start a 1,000 foot per minute descent. So the auto altitude hold will come off. We'll nose down on the glide wheel until we reach that 1,000 foot per minute descent. And we're going to leave it in cruise power until we go through 10,000 feet, at which point we'll start our descent checklists. Speed will increase as we are going downhill at the same power setting. We'll get her up to about 230, 235. Wayne, go a little easy on those jokes at the moment. 70 miles out from the airport. It's 12,000 feet.
PC Optimum wins are some of my favorite messages. Here's a great one.
Hey PC, I got $65 off when I redeemed.
Just kill the radio now that we're heading downhill, as it were. So when VOR2 is slotted in here, that's the ILS frequency. So when that flicks over and starts pointing towards the airport, we know we're in range to pick up the ILS, and then we will be switching over and we'll be flying kind of manual via headings. As we head downhill. And 1014, so it's just a slight change on the barrel there. There we go. It's now set. So we're inset a little bit from the coast, but not too bad. There's a huge formation of rivers and everything in the area. So we're going to be pretty much right down at the Indian Ocean. Again, not too far from the Bangladeshi coast. .400 feet to go. I'm going to increase our descent rate slightly. Try to keep it around that 1,000. You can see our speeds coming up towards 235. Oh, did someone actually say that? There's 10,000 feet coming up. So we'll do our descent checks now.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches. Inches set. Descent checklist, please. Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked. Seatbelt signs on. On. Engine blowers low. Low.
9,500 feet.
Descent checks are complete.
So the town is ahead of us. We're going to be flying over the northern part. Looks like the airport's on the what's that, northeastern part of the city. With the lighting there. Coming in at nighttime.
We have begun our final descent to your destination. Flight attendants will be passing.
Popular place. Fly to your destination a lot.
In the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat cushion.
Beautiful night here. Just a few clouds. Sun's still setting. Got a little bit of color left in the western horizon. Stars are looking great. See how we definitely got that nose down attitude as we're coming down. See the city lights under the clouds ahead. So the outside air temperature is back up to 10 degrees, so we'll turn the heating off so we don't overheat the windshield. There's the guys behind us. Kevin. There's that fade. A little bit of color on the horizon. There's the city coming up. You can see the lighting underneath it. $40 miles out, 7,000 feet. And we do got to slow down. There's no braking on this by the use of flaps or spoilers or anything. So got to trade time or distance for speed. And so we add that little extra bit of mileage onto our descent calculations. So when we do get to the airport, we're going to be turning on to a heading of 007 degrees. And that will take us on the outbound at 2,000 feet. And then at 6 miles out, that's where we want to make our loop. So things are going to get a little bit busy. Very good. So we're having a discussion of porcine hearing apparatus in the chat. Five and a half thousand feet, 34 miles out. Once we get down and level off at 2,000 feet, we'll do the in-range checks. Oh. Yeah, I know. The competing inputs there. I'm sure the whatever music he was playing was much better than me droning on. So just under 3,000 feet to go, 30 miles out. It is. It's a night landing in Calcutta. So it is actually 1 hour time difference here. It's showing 7 o'clock on the clock. It's actually 8 o'clock. And we're scheduled to arrive in 40 minutes. The schedule on the original itinerary had us landing here at, what time was it? 20 minutes from now, 2020. So that's interesting. We've been doing good. I don't know why we'd be slightly behind in our scheduled arrival when we departed actually early. Unless the real airplane was a little bit faster. Could be. 26 miles, 2,000 feet to go. A little bit of cloud. That's a few cloud that they said in the forecast we're starting to run into. And airspeed's coming back a little as we're into the thicker air. My dulcet tones, man. We will agree to disagree. Hear the flight engineer clicking switches back there. 900 feet to go. We're going to want to level at 2,000. And if we do find ourselves a little bit too fast, we can always use the flaps. The neat thing about this aircraft is that the white arc flap range is only for flaps past 20 degrees. Alright, so we'll start to bring the nose up. Slow our descent rate. So you can actually extend the flaps, the initial stages anyway, at any speed you want. Down. It's 2,000 feet, and we are locked in. So there's the town. You can see it all over here. We are on the north side, coming in. 17 miles away. Speed's coming down now, and we can do our in-range checks. We're leveled off.
Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On.
We're picking up the ILS now.
In-range checks complete.
Nav 2 is kicked over. Speed is down to 192 knots. We are 15 miles out from the airport. And we're trading this 15 miles for speed reduction. Once we turn outbound on the teardrop, at the when we turn off the reciprocal of the runway, that's when we'll do our landing checks. See, there's definitely a haze, but it's not too bad. We should be able to pick out the airport fairly easily. Just 12 miles. View for the passengers. And we've got a 1 hour stay over here. Of course, we'll pick it up next week, but we do another passenger and cargo and fuel, and then we're heading off next week. We head from here over to Bangkok. So yeah, we got a little bit of a tailwind. Speed's coming back. We're down to 180. Starting to come over the main part of the town. In the clouds there. Let's do a quick final update. Yeah, a few clouds, 1800, so you can see they're right around where we are. 22 degrees, nice and warm out. 1014. Still got that haze. 7 miles. I'm going to come down now. We're going to switch over to gyro pilot. I'm going to come up. I'm going to put the airport VOR back in on 2, and I'm going to put the ILS VOR, our frequency, over on 1. Obviously the ILS system only works off of nav 1. We're 6 miles out from there. So 1 mile out, we'll begin our turn, and that's turn to 007. We are heading towards the top end of the runway. You can see the ILS needle is adjusting to where the ILS is. Just the ILS isn't at the very top, it's down a bit, but the VOR needle is at the top end of the runway from where we are. Some high rises, very nice. 1.1 miles to go, and then we'll make our turn. I want to keep it fairly sharp, so we're going to go for a 20-degree bank. Start our turn. See this middle marker. Just flew over the localizer. 25-degree bank. We're going to 007. Speed's down to 173. That's right where we want it. That's going to be about there. We can go over slightly as we are it's a little bit past the ILS. As you can see by the arrow, that's fine. This is the direction we basically want to be going, heading northwards. There's Kevin coming in, and then Nick's back behind the pillar here. So when that reaches 6.2, we're going to turn 052. And start the landing checklist. Zero 052. Coming up. And before landing.
Flaps 20. Setting flaps 20. Flaps set. Mistress Ridge, please. Alter Ridge. Mixture set.
Speed's coming down, 160.
Gear up and down.
Down goes the gear. Don't think we can see it. We can see it a little bit. Speed's down to 150.
Gear down and locked. 3 greens. Props. 2400 RPM.
I'm going to turn north.
2400 RPM set. Cal flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Cal flaps set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights.
We're making our turn. Wayne, well, they're doing a lot of the checklist as they're going through it. I've just memorized this stuff from doing it so many times.
Before landing checks complete.
So before landing checks are complete, we are all done. We're slowing down. We're going to speed up. We want 130 is our cruise speed. We'll bring the power back. So we're doing about 140 at the moment. We're doing the big arc around to come in and intercept on the ILS. And it's a heading of 187, so we've got a ways to go around the arc. Bring the power back a little bit. We're up to 150. We'll hold it there. So, given our weights and the fact that there's not a lot of big variance and difference for when we usually fly when we're landing, we're going to be coming down the hill at 130. We're going to aim to land at about 100. So we're arcing around nicely for the intercept. When we get that to around 30 degrees, we'll go into approach mode, and then when the glide slope gets close, we'll take off the altitude hold so that she can do the capture. There's Kevin in behind us. Alright, so that's looking good. So we'll throw that into approach mode. I don't know why that kicked off. Should still be on. Oh, that's interesting. Not sure what's happened there. Oh, I know why. We were in that turn. Alright, so she should still hold her altitude, that's fine. Didn't like the fact I had the gyro pilot doing the turn thing. I'm just gonna I won't worry about the altitude hold. I'll just let it intercept the glide slope now. There we go. There's the glide slope. So we're going to pull back on the power now. And let that speed come back down to 130. And we're going to go to 40 on the flaps. That'll help. Coming in, the airport's right there. We can just make it out just to the right of the pillar. Well, it was in the turn mode, so if you do anything in any type of other straight and level, it kind of freaks out a bit. So there's the outer marker. I can just make out the runways ahead, and we're coming in on the left one. We're just finishing our lineup. Outer marker. Get that speed up. Try to get it up on all engines. About the same. There we are. So 125 to 130 is what we want. 800 feet to go. We'll go to full flaps at 600. I'll take over at 500. And we'll start at 500. We'll start bringing the power back to slow us down. So gears down 3 green. Flaps are set, throttle set, signs are on, lights are on. We are good for landing. So there's 600 feet going to full flaps. It's 500 feet. I have the aircraft. Start bringing the power back. 2 whites, 2 reds. Back on center line. It's 100 knots. We're going to touch down probably just this side of the threshold, maybe. Oh no, should be good. And we're down. Look at that, right at the threshold. We're going to go down to Alpha, which is the next taxiway here. We slowed down a little bit too much on the descent. That's okay, we made it. There's Alpha here. pop outside in a second. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 7:18 p.m. and it's currently about
All right, Fred,
22
let's
degrees
get the
Celsius.
clean
You
up
can
here,
now use
please.
your mobile devices. Please remain
So the lights aren't working down here. So this is the runway, 19er right. We're just going to get ourselves a good line up here so we can accurately taxi. We're going to cross that runway. A little bit of power here. Alright, so we got the cargo apron coming up, the main cargo hub. It is dark and hazy. So that's the main cargo hub for the airport on our right. We're going to go past here down to the other apron. We're heading down to the domestic terminal. So this is the main international terminal here. Control tower. Just trying to get to where I can see down here onto the ground markings. Here's the domestic terminal coming up. And then we're going to go on to the remote stands here. Very well could, and I would never see it. Just pull it up slightly, go up to the lights. Actually, I think the line's on the other side, but That's fine. We're gonna park her right here. Can't see a thing out there. I think that's the first line there, but whatever.
Parking brake is set. Cut entrance.
Yeah, should have been on this line. Couldn't see if it was yellow or white. Hurry up with the switches.
Parking checks complete. Airplane secured.
Alright, so let's go up top here. And we'll turn on the ground power and turn on the power again. There we go. Appreciate that, but you left us in the dark. Go to white light. And we can get everything opened up. And get the stairs open. There's Kevin. I saw Nick over here. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Nick. Yeah, I know, it's pretty dark out here. Nick, hope you're still around and didn't plane dived in crowd. Oh, I thought you were taxiing over here. Oh well. I'm sure they can repair it for next week. Well, that's going to do it, folks. I got some planning to do for tomorrow. We'll sort out what we're going to do for the new stream. But I will see you all again on the next one. Thanks for coming by. And again, if you haven't already, do the like button thing, subscribe. Come over to the Discord. We hit 350 subscribers. I've got a special flight lined up. And we will do that. So here comes Kevin. At least two of us made it to the end. Once again, I'll just copy the Discord link over into the Twitch chat. Thank you all for coming out today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Talk to y'all later. Bye for now.